The time has come, the walrus said, to talk of many things, of shoes and ships and sealing wax, and bandsaws and things. It's time to fix this. Exhibit A, which is extremely nasty. Well, it's not that bad. But it's the same mini bandsaw that everybody has. And the day you declare you wish to become a home shop machinist, you are issued with one of these. You just have to pay for it. Now, the biggest issues with these out of the factory is that they don't work. Now, you can deal with that by putting on a decent blade, getting the bearings and everything squared up, and then they actually cut quite well, and it's not too hard to do that. There's plenty of videos about that, so we're not going to dwell on it here. The next big problem you have is that they simply don't hold things very well. This is all very flimsy, and the clamps get in the way of the bandsaw blades and this, that and the other. And those of us who are making like model engines and things like that are often working with small pieces of material. These things are just not very good at holding. So really, the big issue is holding stuff. So what I'm going to do is take this all apart, take the cutting head off, put that aside, make a new set of jaws, certainly the moving one. I'm going to make this longer with an adjusting screw on it, and I'm going to extend this part of the base, and I'm going to add tapped holes for clamps and possibly other stuff, but I'm kind of going to make it up as I go. But the first thing to do is take this all apart. Oh yeah, the other thing is I'm going to do something about the base, make up some kind of additional base with casters on it. So let's get into it. Well, I've got the saw in the inner shop, the inner sanctum, and it's discombobulated. There's the base and the various accoutrements. And who left that steam engine there? Anyway, we've got the base up on the mill here and bolted down. So here's the plan. Got it upside down at the moment and clamped down on the one machine surface that it's got. Right, a little bit of a change in plan. I was going to machine the outer areas flat. I'm not going to. I'm going to machine the inner flat because I can get that all in one clamping setup, and all that matters is I've got some flat surfaces to hold down on, and I have to machine this area anyway for the clamping bar. Let's lower this down. Take the cutting tool out and shut off the power while we work it through. And I'll bring you back in a bit once it's clamped up. Part is level to the table by means of 1, 2, 3 blocks on the machined surface that we just did, what I just did, you watched. Part is clamped securely in place with machinist toe clamps on the ends, and there's a machinist jack underneath each one so that the clamping forces aren't bowing the part. They're probably still bowing it slightly. Then we've got a third one in the middle just to hold it secure. To square it up, all I did was bring the cutting tool down and ran the part backwards and forwards, just visually using the tip of the insert as a visual guide, because it doesn't really, it's not going to affect anything if this plate I'm going to put in here doesn't have to be super square to anything in particular. Basically, I want it roughly square to this slot. This slot. Right, well, after all of that, we've got a nice machined surface. It's kind of dark there. What that's about. And a nice square edge for a new plate to bolt up to, like that. So next thing to do is take the saw bed off of there and make the two parts, the clamp bar and the top plate, get them installed, and then we'll bring this back and kind of finish machine it. I have a hefty climb cut going here, but I can do that on this mill because it's built to do it. In the X direction it has an adjustable lead screw nut, and I've got that fine tuned according to the original factory specs for very minimal backlash. There is a little bit, but enough to not wear the lead screw out, and this allows to take these big cuts. It's really very handy. Right, I've got this piece of material which is an ideal thickness. See, it's just a bit high here, which is perfect. I can skim this down, skim this surface, get it all coplanar. But it's a bit long. This bit needs to come off. And what I really need is a bandsaw. But that's unfortunate. I really don't feel like hacksawing this by hand, so I'm going to chain drill it to get the excess off and then just mill that flat. Right, I'm going to try flood coolant again, just for the fun of it. You may think this is a lot of screwing around to cut off a piece of excess material, and it is, but I ain't doing it by hand. This is 5/8 plate, and I don't want to drill and tap all the way through, so I'm going to go through a 1/2 inch. So in order to accurately do that, I'm going to set my quill stop to this position, which I'm doing but you can't see, and I have locked it, and that is now as far down as the drill can go. And now I will lift the knee by a 1/2 inch. Thus. Now I know that I will come down a 1/2 inch into this plate. We're using every kind of cutting fluid there is, so why not use some wanker lube. That's why I prefer flood coolant, honestly. There we are. I am just going to hand tap this hole since it's a blind hole. I could flat bottom the hole and get another thread, but I don't think there's a need to. This will do it. Yeah. Right, well there we are. Got the plate bolted in place using the clamp bar. Very simple. So what's going to happen next is skim the top of this plate level with the top of this surface. I'll probably key this so that this can't possibly slide backwards and forwards. And then we'll put some additional features and tapped holes in all over the place and elongate this slot a bit. Anyway, we're going to call that it for this video. So please come back for the next one and see continuation of this project. All right, thanks very much. As always, may your dimensions be in tolerance and your surface finishes chatter free. Be seeing you.